Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the Public Infrastructure, Environment, and Sustainability Committee. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the approval of minutes from, we have January 29th?
Our last meeting was in November.
Oh, November, not January.
So moved.
Been moved in second? Approval of minutes?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any noes? Minutes are approved. Going right into our discussion items today, creation of an additional water purveyor rate class, Marlene Feist.
Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. I'm here to talk about both a new wholesale water rate first. So we're proposing an ordinance that would create a new classification for wholesale water users. So we are a regional water purveyor, as you know, and we supply water to other neighboring jurisdictions under contract. And those systems then supply water to their customers. So we don't manage their distribution system. We just send water to their connection point, and then they manage distribution to their customers. Generally, these water systems typically use our water in one of two ways. One, they supplement their own supplies during one or two peak summer months to keep up with demand. So it's like supplemental extra water in the summertime. The other way is to serve as an emergency backup in case something goes wrong in their system or there's some need that arises. And so we provide that emergency service. But what we're finding now is that we've seen a couple of environmental issues, and the city has seen an increase in wholesale water demand overall, and also the need to create a new type of wholesale water rate that better captures this higher and more consistent usage. So what we're seeing is a customer that's using our water not on sort of a one-off basis, but like every day, right? And so that service is less expensive per gallon to supply than holding back supply for when somebody needs it on demand. So they would pay the same rate per gallon. They would pay the same monthly base rate, but those consistent water users, who are defined as people who take water on a consistent supplemental basis for at least 9 months out of the year, would pay a little less per unit of water than someone who's on an emergency or really limited supply basis. So our rate change is then proposed here, so you would see it in that capital infrastructure rate, not in the actual water consumption rate, if that makes sense. So that is the ordinance that is in your packet. Yes.
Yeah, I guess, so one question would be, if they're using the water every day, does that mean that they're not complying with our water ban prohibition that's in effect during the summer months and fall? And if so, I mean, is that something that could be written in, that they would have to abide by those rules?
So they do have water conservation in most of the contracts that are newer, right? That we could have an outlier that we don't have conservation in yet. But the main ones that we do have requirements around conservation.
So the same hours of the day, all those same limitations that affect my constituents would affect them?
Right, for that outdoor irrigation use, though. So remember, in the case of Airway Heights, which we're going to talk about next, we're providing all of their water. So there's still people using the water for showers and drinking and
Right, correct.
Clothes,
But
yeah.
for the,
So it doesn't cut off their water. But yes, they would still be required to follow conservation measures as proposed by, then adopted by their city council. But they have, actually, in Airway Heights, they have actually stricter conservation measures by ordinance than we do a little bit.
And so for those other jurisdictions, though, the ones that don't have those in effect, how do we ensure that they're abiding by our prohibitions?
Well, we really haven't. Airway Heights is probably our most consistent purchaser of water. The others really are on a much more intermittent basis. So I don't know that I have a full evaluation of that, but I can take a look at that. But that wouldn't apply to this class of customer that we're talking about today.
Okay, so they're not using it externally, just internally.
No, they're using it potentially for both. But what I'm saying is this new rate is just for customers who use it consistently on a 9-month basis. So wouldn't apply. It only applies at this point to this one water user.
Okay.
So to expand on that, then we're proposing an amendment to the Airway Heights water supply agreement. And by way of background, we have a supply agreement with Airway Heights that provides up to 1,500 gallons per minute of supplemental water supply, up to an additional 1,450 gallons per minute in an emergency supply agreement. That agreement was entered into in 2018 following the discovery of PFOA contamination in the Airway Heights system. The first amount I mentioned, we have had under contract with them for many years. That is not new. So this amendment would add 250 gallons per minute to their main supplemental supply, not to the emergency supply. And as part of the amendment, Airway Heights would pay us about $643,000 in basically what it amounts to a connection charge, like a GFC, but in a wholesale situation, related to the amount of water that would now be available to them. And we came up with that amount. We had Jacobs Engineering do an analysis to come up with the infrastructure costs of providing that particular 250 gallons per minute. Now, if Airway Heights were to buy additional water in the future, that would not be this, it would be more expensive because now we're getting into more expensive infrastructure to get to the next amount of water that they would like to see from us. In addition, Airway Heights would have to make some physical improvements to the connection point where we deliver water to allow the extra amount of water to reach them. And so throughout this year, we're going to be working on a revised overall water supply agreement, so after this amendment, that would convert the emergency provisions to address that PFOA contamination into a long-term supplemental agreement. Because right now, they haven't paid for the infrastructure capital charge associated with the fact that we just turned over 1,450 gallons a minute of water because of an emergent need. And so that new agreement would include the conversion of those emergency provisions, a capital infrastructure charge associated with that amount of water, and then an understanding of future long-term needs, capacity needs for Airway Heights, and then the capital infrastructure charges that would go along with that.
Councilman Bingle.
Yes, thank you. And we talked a bit about this. As I was looking through the rates here, I have a question. So I see that it's 0.391 per 100 cubic feet. How does that compare to some of the other rates for users who are outside the city, being charged outside city rates? I see in the commercial here it's somewhat similar, but
Right. So all the other wholesale water purveyors would pay that outside commercial rate. We pay a little less to that consistent day in, day out type user like an Airway Heights because it is cheaper for us to do that than sort of because it doesn't have as many peaks and valleys
a
in
bulk
the use.
discount, if you will.
Yeah. In a sense,
Yeah.
but only on the infrastructure charge, not on the consumption charge. The consumption charge, regardless of what kind of customer we have, is the same. We're saying that it's easier for us to dedicate infrastructure to somebody who's using it all the time than to dedicate infrastructure to somebody who's just picking once and then picking twice. You see, so
Totally.
that's the difference in the cost. Plus, if you're a consistent customer, you are paying more overall because you're taking more water overall.
So Marlene, there is no end date on this. You're talking about new contracts you're reviewing them, they'll be coming forward. What type of timeline is that?
Yeah, we hope to bring a revised overall agreement to you in 2024. And Airway Heights is interested in that as well.
So we don't want to just put 12/31/2024? I mean, so I'm just trying to say some constraints because I know things happen and we'll come back and we'll extend this again. Hopefully not, but we know it can be.
Yeah, and this is just an amendment to what is there to allow for a little bit of extra water usage that they're seeing from their growth demands in Airway Heights. So what I think that that our Airway Heights as our customers, they have a desire to have something permanent in place too. So they have assurances for their customers and people who live there and work there and are opening businesses there. So I think we have equal demand on that new agreement.
Okay. Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, two questions. So one, you said that because of the consistency, we charge a little bit less, but we have a lot of folks that live outside the city that consistently use our water, and so I guess why are they charged a little bit more?
Well, so the difference between them and another customer is that we also have to maintain the distribution system. So within Airway Heights, they maintain their own distribution system.
Okay.
We're only delivering the water through the transmission system to the point of connection.
Gotcha.
So that is the difference between them and other customers who receive water outside the city who are our direct customers.
Perfect. And then my second question, I was to understand that the county is putting something like 10 million in ARPA into water infrastructure out there. Is that going to affect the city of Beverly Heights, or is that all just unincorporated county?
Yeah, so what we are aware of so far is that the county has dedicated $2 million in ARPA funds, $1 million for a water booster station that would be on Spotted Road, and another for a sewer lift station, which is sort of near the transload facility. So that sort of will help us. I mean, I think that goes into the calculation of what the PDAs should be helping to pay for in terms of infrastructure. Sure. So I think we have, obviously, we have a larger conversation and look at that, as you know, council member, to look at how the PDA contributions should fit in. But I really feel like that's where that is in terms of helping grow the water infrastructure needed to serve the businesses within the PDA. That money is coming to the city. If there are other water infrastructure investments, they did do a little bit, for example, on the water line up in Freya in the Northeast PDA, we did get a little ARPA up there. So if there are other water improvements, they're not coming to the city, and I'm not aware of those.
Okay, so it might be worth having the S3R3 come to this committee and talk a little bit about. what
Yeah,
their
and in
future
pretty
plans
much in
are.
S3R3, the city is the provider exclusively. There is not another water service provider who's prepared to take on. That's in our service location.
Okay.
And I know we talked about water before, but this council is the water board. And so we probably need to convene as a educational briefing at some point to really get us up to speed on what our responsibilities are as a water board for the city. So we're going to make note to get that before the council to help us really understand
Yeah.
our role in that.
Yeah, Elizabeth Shadle in our legal department is prepared to kind of give you the one-on-one of being a water board in addition to being a council member. I mean, because there are some different roles and responsibilities. We are regional by nature and have many customers both inside and outside the city limits, both on the commercial side and the residential side. So it's good, and more outside city customers on the water side than on the sewer side, and there's a lot of reasons for that. The only utility that's just within the city limits is the garbage utility.
Great. Any other questions for Marlene? All right, thank you. So now we're going to have Catherine Miller come and the utility rates review schedule. Catherine?
Thank you, Jacoby. So this is a kickoff. I was just going to say, I'm going to get you 5 minutes back. I don't need 10 minutes to tell you. This is a kickoff conversation. We are going to be taking on in 2024 the work of reassessing our rates, our monthly sewer, water, solid waste rates, and be setting a new rate coming in for starting in 2025, excuse me. Anyhow, so we want to get all this work done this year, and just kind of giving you a quick schedule and understanding it's going to take a while throughout the first half of this year to go through all the work before we start making touches with council. We're looking to come and do a kind of rates 101 education March 18th with council. And then towards the end, April, May, June, we'll be coming back with more details of the steps and the conversations that we need to have with council to get some direction as we go through. So as a heads up, this is obviously a very delicate balance between affordability and the level of costs that we are facing in terms of our new costs that we all have experienced in the last several years, but also trying to get our arms around a appropriate level of maintenance replacement that the city of Spokane, for our size city, our size facilities, really needs to have in place moving forward. So this is an opportunity to kind of set that sail to the right again, balance between affordability and getting the work done that we need to. So more to come. I'm also assuming council's interested in this topic. So we do have you slated in for several locations to make sure we're all on the same page as we go through.
Great. Councilman Bingle.
We have a few new council members. Can you give a history of the rate increases, why they were locked in at a certain percentage, and where that leaves us now based on, basically 10 years worth of those
On the
rates?
March 18th, I will definitely come back with all
Perfect.
of that for you.
Okay.
Any other questions that I can bring back to you? I really did want to collect
Right.
anything you're interested in, so we can really start off with the information you're looking for, and again, that we can share back kind of what the process is and answer questions like that for you.
I also remember you really were very specific on the comps that you were using when you were looking at rates the last time, the cities that we were being compared to. So I'm sure we'll still be interested in the comps and the growth of those cities since we were here 3 years ago, I believe, having this same discussion. Any other, Councilmember Klitzky?
At our agenda setting meeting, we also had some questions about aquifer impacts, if you could be prepared, if there's anything in this 101 that you could use to address that, that would be great.
Okay. I don't know if your mics are on, but I can't actually hear you
can't hear
through the
us?
mics.
Oh, yeah, get
Just so
closer.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard you, but I just mean
They're
it.
really inconsistent, like, you gotta
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. So, comps and aquifer impact, those were the last two. Any other questions for Catherine? All right, we'll be
Thank you.
seeing you again. Thank you. Now we're going to have the utility billing pandemic, and Corin's going to come do that. Welcome.
Well, today's presentation, I'm very excited to bring forth. There's been a lot of work done over the last almost 3.5 years now to try and help as many households, low income in particular, as we could. Public Works goals are to reduce households facing housing insecurity due to buildup of past due bills, facing water shutoff, or facing collection actions. And so the goal was to try and reduce the number of households as much as we possibly could through a multitude of programs that we were given opportunities to, including city council approved funding of $800,000 in ARPA.
Corin, you have the ability to move forward those slides. The down button.
Thanks, Jacoby. All right. So, looking back, what we've done since the beginning of the pandemic, approximately March of 2020 through May of last year, we, not only due to the governor's moratorium, but we extended the moratorium in our own billing practices to suspend late fees and water shutoffs. We went through till May of 23, when the moratorium officially ended September of 22. We increased allowed repayment terms of repayment plans. That started in March 2020. We don't have any intention of pulling that back. Some cases are long-term interest-free repayment plans, and they really are truly helping our customers. We also partnered with SNAP in many ways. Various programs, we were already partnered with SNAP with our U-Help program, but in particular with the council-approved ARPA funds and the utilities matching with write-offs, that we went into a contract which we called the program Utility Bill Relief Program. And SNAP was to qualify our customers, gathering financial information and actually certifying that they were low income. Overall, this first slide, we'll get into a little bit more of the breakdown in the last two slides. But this first slide is just to show overall that we have provided $8.3 million to approximately 5,600 households. And as you can see, starting from the top, we have ARPA-related funds of $4 million, Department of Commerce, $1.9 million, LIWAP, which is Low Income Housing Water Assistance Program, about $1 million. The utility has written off our $800,000 that we committed to do. TRAP, $378,000, and U-Help is at $184,000. The Utility Bill Relief Program did come to a close on the 22nd of January, so it was something that there was a lot of work put into it. James Caddy, our Public Works Senior Business Analyst, is on the line. He is our guru with data number crunching, so we know that we're putting our efforts in where they are most important. But we're very proud to be able to report this. The pie graph to the right, that shows the number of dollars spent from local, which is a U-Help or write-off, council approved, which was $4 million overall, and external programs of $3.3 million. Does council have any questions so far?
Well, we're certainly glad we were able to help. It was quite the discussion. We knew how critical it was for our citizens not to have their utilities shut off
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
So going forward, where are we today?
Okay. So it's not working. The down arrow? Thank you. Okay, so, and overall, the information we're reporting today is we wanted to focus on residential. We do have our commercial customers as well, but we were only able to provide various programs to residential customers based on the rules around those programs. As far as December of 2019 through December, just last month, at the very bottom there, we started pre-pandemic of $1.1 million, an average 60-plus day delinquency, and we spiked November of 2022 at 6.6 million, just for our residential. And then now we ended the program just about a week ago, and we're at 2.6 million. So we're about $1 million away from where we were before the pandemic. And so, next steps, and I have one more slide here. We can just kind of brush on it real quick, just to show the various programs and how they impacted the delinquency, just a quick at a glance.
So, Corinne, explain that that's the low-income households that we're looking at right there?
Correct. Yes, thank you, Marlene. So we're looking at a subset of customers that we wanted to focus on helping, and so SNAP also had the ability to qualify them. This isn't our overall portfolio. It is the low-income households that have been identified.
So how do you define low income?
So low income, per the ARPA guidelines, was 300% or below a federal poverty level, or 65% of AMI.
But I guess how do you know that you've encapsulated all of the low income if they didn't apply for a program or they weren't participating in something? How do you know that they're included in this?
We don't know that.
So this is a portion of, not all, in low income.
So these are the customers that we were able to identify. So if someone never contacted us, we might have missed them, but we also were able to use qualified census tracts. So we had,
Okay.
we used a lot of different ways. We cross-referenced our database with Avista's database for anybody who got LIHEAP or Project Share help. So we did everything we could to identify those customers who would qualify for help. And then we offered them, if we didn't know about them, we told them to go see SNAP to see if they qualified. So this was our attempt to get to the universe of those who would qualify under those recommendations.
And we previously have had a lot of breakdowns of this by council district. Do we have those numbers for this? And can we get also a new heat map that shows where we are today by
Yeah,
council?
we can do that. We don't have that for you today, but certainly we can break it down by council district, for
That'd be
sure.
great.
Councilmember Bingham.
Do we know that of the people that we've helped get to current, how many have stayed current after their bills were helped?
Well, currently, and this was just as of last week, of the 2.6 million, we have just residential alone. And I don't have that total here, but I mean, James, are you on the line?
I am on the line, yes.
Do we know the account count to that 2.6 million?
I don't have that at my fingertips.
We can follow up.
I see 2,469 households were assisted on that. Do we know of those households, how many have remained current after we helped them to become current?
I believe we have that data, but I'm going to have to take that as
No
a
worries.
follow-up.
Yep, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I don't have it here, sorry.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions on this information? The last slide's real quick.
Okay.
It's
going.
next steps. Okay. So, as mentioned, our utility relief program funds have been fully distributed as of January 22nd. We're going to continue to encourage and monitor repayment plan performance. We're going to use normal and collection practices for delinquent accounts. And what that means is we're now revisiting how collections may look like in a post-pandemic world. It's a much more thoughtful approach. And so stay tuned for more to come on that. Our goal is not to turn off people's water. It's a very expensive way to collect, and nobody wins. Encourage donations to our Cities U Help program. We need to replenish some of the funds. So we are having conversations about that right now, how we can get a push to maybe get some more donations in. And then advocate for long-term federal assistance of water and wastewater charges, LIWAP, similar to LIHEAP that's been around pre-pandemic and is still around. So that would be ideal if we can have that at the state level, federal level. Any other questions?
Just clarify what you mean, use normal notification and collection practices. Were they different under COVID?
Well, we suspended them.
You just suspended?
Yeah,
Oh.
and for a period of time, we had late charges were turned off for almost 3 years, and so people didn't have a large late charge balance owing because of the way the funds post in the system, or per our ordinance, how they post in order. And so now, as we have gone through and late charge balances are climbing, as utility billing, we're able to waive late charges as a courtesy if they enter into a repayment plan, that sort of thing, or if it would benefit the customer. But beyond that, we can't waive charges for services provided. So we're trying to just encourage those long-term repayment plans. As far as the notices are at 65 days, they go out. About 5 days later, the water shut-off notice is then either acted on, or we're hearing from the customer and making that repayment plan. But no, again, we're trying to find the most thoughtful approach to ease into what needs to happen, and maybe it's not always water shut-off.
Right. Councilmember Dillon?
Yeah, thank you for all this. And you might not be able to answer this question, and that's okay, but something perhaps to just flag for us is, what does it look like with our federal kind of legislative agenda and work around this assistance, and how much this is on perhaps their radar, and things that maybe we can be doing as a body to advocate for these given the need.
Yeah, so we're working with our federal lobbyist on this one. So Mayor Brown signed a letter of support with a number of other cities in the last 2 weeks around this LIWAP program, and encouraging Congress to accept that as a permanent support program. So it's not just us, it's cities all across the nation, and because that's the kind of effort it's going to take. But we're staying on top of that, and Brian Christensen, I think who you've met, Councilmember Dillon, is going to be helping with us and looking for opportunities for us to advocate.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Cathcart?
Yeah, I guess no inherent opposition to that, but I'm just wondering, at what point does council play a role in determining what we're lobbying for?
So that did go through our normal lobbyists and through Eric Polson, and that's how we got that letter, and Mayor signed on to that letter.
Because I haven't actually seen a federal agenda yet, so if we could get a copy of it, I'd appreciate it.
I don't know if we have a federal agenda, full agenda, but that is one thing that we did talk about the other day at the legislative meeting, and Mayor Brown did agree to sign on to that. So.
Oh, okay, well.
Any other questions?
Oh, I think, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clint Harris, going to talk to us about snow removal, which is thankfully all gone right now.
Good afternoon, council. And so we felt it was a good time to come around. Last season, we went through 4 full city plows by this time. And so this year, we're thought it'd be a good idea with the new council members to give everyone a refresher and update. So anyway, the season's living up to the forecast of the El Nino, with so far only 1 full city plow, as you well know. And so the crews have been spending a lot of extra time picking up the leaves and other maintenance items, sweeping the streets and the other maintenance that they have to do. Just seems like the leaves don't ever want to fall off the trees any longer. So, but did you want to advance it one more?
You have that clicker and you can hit the down button. Aim it toward this.
So like was in the presentation last time, based upon feedback from the citizens, the request was for more plowing sooner, more equipment and people, and completion of the full city plows sooner, and minimizing driveway berms, a greater emphasis on plowing snow away from the sidewalks, and then the focus on the routes to schools, medical facilities, and more. So that's still consistent. And every snowfall's always a challenge with each one of those, depending upon temperatures and the conditions of how the snow falls. This last snow, as you may well remember, we had inch and a half of snow at 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the morning, and then by 3:30 in the afternoon, we had quite a bit more snow than that. So with the cold ground temperatures, it made it a little bit more challenging than some of the other plows we encounter, because it limits our materials. Instead of using liquid materials, we were more limited to the dry materials like the salts. Next. So as we encounter some of the challenges that come up, one of the things that we hear about all the time is snow on the sidewalks. And the gates solve the problem with the snow on the driveway, but the snow on the sidewalks is something that's frustrating, especially for the residents that live along the arterials. So this is a picture of a plow, and we've taken and mounted a piece of metal in the end of it in an attempt to redirect the snow as it comes through the plow, trying to break the velocity of it. So we were able to use it on this last snow plow. It was helpful. It still needs some more tweaking, I guess, as we move along, but we're always looking for new opportunities or ways to change things.
Clint, was that an in-house design for the sidewalks?
In-house design and in-house manufacturing on it as well. So if it were to be, we determine it to be successful, then we'll be able to expand it through the rest of the fleet and use it in more areas. Again, just trying to give a better level of service to the citizens. So the plowing, it's a little bit tricky, but when it's 2 inches or more, the crews will plow all the streets. That's usually done through a maintenance plow. When it's more than 2 inches and comes in the amount that we had, we would do a full city plow. The full city plow is called and usually implemented after the arterial streets are made safe. We can call it sooner, but it's actually not, the residential plowing usually doesn't start until we've made all the priority routes safe at that time. And to deal with the berms, we've got 18 gates now. So the intent is to try to get all the gates out in the residential areas. The operators are getting real good at using those gates, and they do such a great job. And we're always trying to make sure that we give a good level of service to the citizens. And that's another tool that we're using along some of the arterial streets as well, just experimenting. It's not as quick as the trucks are, but it does keep the snow off the sidewalks as well. So, and parking's always a challenge in every location. So we ask citizens park on the odd side of the street to give them maximum width possible. The other things that we remind citizens is to move their boats and RVs into winter storage. And then in the downtown area, there's the no parking from 12 to 6, which is something that takes a little bit of coordination with the downtown business partners as well, especially when you get this amount of snowfall that we just had falling in the parking bays. It creates a challenge of what to do with the snow. And then sidewalks, the same thing. The crews work to clear those within a reasonable amount of time, as well as asking the businesses to clear theirs to help the pedestrians out. And then a look at this year, we've continued to see traffic counts down. So more people are working at home and parking on the residential streets, and that's what makes that parking on the outside of the street even more important. And then in an effort to try to service better, we have some satellite locations scattered throughout the city at different facilities to enable the operators to be able to fill up their trucks and get back in the routes. It is challenging for them when the roads become gridlocked. They are gridlocked as well. So having these different sites scattered out, it helps them to be able to get to places quicker. And be in the know, we've already put these out in November, but there's social media. There's a lot of good messaging that's done. We also have our folks at 311 that are really, really good at helping to answer calls and to communicate citizen questions to the departments and to follow up on missed streets and other items like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, two questions for you. One, the news reported that apparently we were delayed in starting our plowing because we had some diesel that froze up. Is that true? And just curious kind of what the background on that is.
Well, that didn't delay the start to the plowing.
Okay.
That's not accurate. There were some challenges with some of the diesel and the cold temperatures. Diesel will freeze, and so the fleet service folks were working extremely hard, but all the equipment was ready when we needed it.
Okay. And then my second question, could you just talk a bit more in detail about what happened downtown with the lack of plowing and kind of how we avoid that next time?
Yeah, it's kind of like I said, you've got real cold temperatures, and then you have a pretty large amount of snow in the parking bays. We have most of the drivers out trying to make the arterial streets safe for the citizens that are traveling home on their commutes. So it's, kind of a bad storm. We had a lot of new people that were hired just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a training opportunity. But, I guess the answer I have is that we'll make sure the right people are in the right place at the right times to address those needs.
Okay. Appreciate
Okay.
that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Councilmember Dillon.
Yeah, thank you. As someone who got their car towed in the snowstorm of 2008, I appreciate a lot of the efforts to communicate to those on residential streets. I definitely see that's, it's been an improvement in encouraging people where to park. I guess one just recommendation would be the Plow Progress Map. That is an awesome tool. I had a lot of constituents asking for that, and so as much as we can get that out there, I think would be really beneficial to residents in the city.
Okay, that's good feedback. Thanks.
I will say, Councilmember Klitsky, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt, sorry. I just want to say, I think you actually did a pretty fantastic job this time. There were a lot of people in my district complaining, and then within hours, their streets got plowed. My dead-end street got plowed much earlier than it usually does. So as far as the exterior of the city, I think it was a pretty good job. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I was going to echo it as well. I think it was really good. I have to say, I really appreciate the signage in Brown's Addition, where I live, that it was posted for several days because there is no parking in Brown's Addition except on the streets unless you go take over the Rosar's parking lot. But that sign was posted like 3 days in advance of the plow, and I think that was extremely helpful. So just a shout out to your team, and really what a good job it was. So that being said, you're not a weatherman, so if things continue, we will come in under budget. Do you think we'll come in under budget?
I would imagine we'd have to.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any other questions for Glenn?
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
Next, we're going to have Catherine Miller back up for the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant.
So this is just more of an informational. I know council is interested in greenhouse gas conversations, and we'll actually be coming to you next month on a more in-depth greenhouse gas discussion about the city of Spokane specifically. Two items that we have the highest rate of greenhouse gases are our vehicles, our fleets, and our buildings. And this is an opportunity. The Climate Pollution Reduction Grant is a federal grant that the federal government is asking states to create the filter around to make sure the state has decided eligible types of projects. And I just want to make council aware that in conversing with the state about this grant, they came to the realization that they would like to put a grant in for the state. And we are going to be one of the measures to reduce greenhouse gases. And again, our two highest ones by far are cars and buildings. So we're putting in a EV conversion of our light-duty fleet for public works. That's going to be about 87 vehicles. And we're talking about well-established light-duty, like a F-150 truck is what we're talking about, light-duty vehicles, down to sedans, cars that we drive around as needed. Anyhow, it's due April 1st. We look to be, again, part of a state application. We think it's going to be much more competitive to have the state apply. And we will be one of several communities, and they're going to be doing different things. I'm not sure what other communities are doing to reduce their greenhouse gases. But when I say our two highest ones, that's actually a statement across the country. In terms of government agencies, typically you'll find the two highest things are cars and buildings anyhow.
Councilman Cathcart?
Yeah, so 87 electric vehicles sounds very expensive. How much of this grant would that cover?
This grant is 100% funding, and it would cover both the purchase of the vehicles and the installation of the charger. What's interesting about this application that I thought you'd like to know as well is we're actually coordinating with our local utility, Avista. They want to run a demonstration with us to show how, through smart software, that we can actually balance the use of our charging with the need of the grid, especially in those peak times, to potentially avoid any kind of brown rollouts or those kind of things is what we're trying to demonstrate. We'll do that through, again, the smart software will know a particular car's mission and know if it's got enough mileage already charged in it, that it doesn't need to just be charged. It can actually turn off, even though it's plugged in, Avista on the smart side can say you have enough charge. And obviously we'd have enough contingency in there on a hot day, because we all know those batteries lose their charge on extreme temperature or either cold or hot. Anyhow, so point B, it'll be smart enough to know if you need 20 miles, we're going to give you 50. And if you already have 50 in the tank, if you will, we're not going to charge anymore. Therefore, that energy is put to other uses. That's one way we're going to demonstrate this ability to control, if you will, our destiny. Another one is we like to utilize some of those vehicles as mobile units that we could deploy out to one of our pump stations or our booster stations and actually charge in a peak scenario in a neighborhood that may have a little microgrid instability that could lead to, again, a rolling brownout or things like that, that we could actually take it off the grid, charge it with those vehicles in that time period that it's needed, and then again, offset our community's suffering, obviously, of having any kind of impact on those extreme temperature days.
And then just to follow up, you also mentioned buildings. So is there a component of this that would be an investment in infrastructure buildings in Spokane?
Waiting in the wings, and I'm waiting to hear back from the state. I asked them if they would be interested in both of our applications, and right now they were only interested in one to give other communities opportunities. But if anybody else in the community that they're talking to drops out, the other application we have in the wings is to upgrade our 12 Public Works buildings within Public Works to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. So just through the technology, through the upgrades of equipment is what we're looking at.
Well, I would just to add one quick thing. I mean, I know there's a lot of folks, private business, that's going to have a lot of cost as a result of the state law changes on building electrification. And so if there's a component of that that could be supporting those individuals as they're struggling, to me, that would be far the greater way to go than investing in ourselves. So.
At this point, the eligibility is within local agencies.
Great. Any other questions for Catherine? In that case, Catherine, let's go on to the next one.
So Bosch Lot Agreement is an ongoing agreement with Public Works in terms of the construction that we're doing on the Post Street Bridge and the Parks Department. In the lot we call Bosch Lot, it's now, I believe, called the Lincoln Parking Lot A. It's just to the west and north of the Post Street Bridge is where we have all the lay-down space for the project. We're using that area that used to be the parking area for the Parks Department. We've been paying them for the lost revenue from the parking while the construction has been going on. So the construction's gone on a little further because it started just as, of course, COVID happened. It delayed our project anyhow. So this is, I believe, our final renewal of that agreement to extend into 2024, pay off 2023 as well in terms of our use.
Councilmember Cathcart.
And so what then is the plan for the Bosch lot once that's all done?
So the project of the Post Street Bridge is to place it the way we found it. So we'll be putting down gravel and leaving it the way the city of Spokane in terms of the project of the Post Street Bridge found it.
Okay, so it's just going to be a gravel lot?
At this point from the project, yes.
Okay.
Great. All right. Any other questions for Catherine? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about contaminated water disposal, and that's Ms. Marlene coming back.
So this contract item was brought up from consent at council request. So this is just a contract with Waste Management to use their Graham Road facility, which is more of a construction materials type landfill, to dispose of contaminated material that we discover during construction. So the contract amount is for up to $300,000, and it's good for 3 years. So according to our engineering folks, Dan's on vacation, so I'm filling in here. So we typically encounter non-hazardous contaminated soil once or twice a year on jobs. It's often some sort of petroleum-based contamination where maybe there was an old underground storage tank, that kind of thing for fuel, that leaked into the right-of-way where we're working. In this last year, for example, we found contamination when we were putting in a water line over by the airport. So we it's our pre-work didn't find it. It's not surprising that we found it there. It was part of, the old military base, that kind of thing. So when this happens, we're responsible to dispose of the material that we encounter and disturb. So we're not obligated to clean up the whole contaminated material outside of our excavation. So whatever we disturb, we need to take care of so that we don't put a pipe into contaminated soil. And so then this contract would allow us to take that material to Graham Road and have it disposed of properly.
Councilmember Cathcart?
Yeah, so just tangentially related, the Livability Initiative in Logan, I continue to hear that we're still putting materials there. So are we allowed to shift those materials to this site potentially? The neighbors around the site there are still reporting back to me that they're seeing still materials being dumped.
Oh, you mean at the water department?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So all of that is that's actually clean fill that we can use in, something like, think about when a water main breaks and you blow out a bunch of soil. So we'll take the soggy soil and then dry it out and then place it in the next one that happens to. So all of that will ultimately be sent into the ranch. We're not taking any new material there. Graham Road is really a disposal area for stuff that you couldn't reuse, right? So it's not a place where you would get new fill, that kind of thing. So that all is being moved to the ranch. Councilmember Cathcart, I thought we had moved all of it, but I'll double check on that for you.
If you would, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Marlene? All right, thank you. Resolution for ecology loan. Mark Papich.
Good afternoon. So this is this item's a resolution. It's for 2 ecology low-interest loans. One's for the Marion Hay Sewer Intertie Project. The other is the 9-mile sewer reroute project. Both of these are projects that are in our 6-year program. Both gravity sewer line projects that effectively eliminate maintenance-intensive pump stations. Total amount for the 2 loans, it's about $9.7 million, 2.4% interest rate, and the term is 20 years. Is there any specific questions?
Councilmember Bingle.
Hey, Mark. I didn't have any specific questions. I just want, items like this that, where we're committing 20 years worth of payments to somebody to come up for discussion just in case there are questions.
Sure,
So
sure.
nothing specific today, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that was a great call out about Councilmember Bingle, that we're encumbering future council members to honor that agreement. Any other, Councilmember Klitzky?
I was just saying it would be nice to see the projections of how much money it would save too, to replace those with the gravity fed.
Sure.
All right.
Thank
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. And then we have the SBO for the State and Local Cybersecurity Grant Program. That's Michael Sloan. Oh, it's not. You look really different now, Mike.
I will stay away from sarcasm for the moment.
I just look
Mr.
different.
Sloan is having stitches removed from his hand as we
Oh,
speak.
gosh.
So I am standing in his place. Dan Woodell, Information Security Officer for the city. Thank you, Councilwoman, Council President, and Council. The state and local cybersecurity grant came about through federal funding that is being distributed to the states. We submitted 2 grant requests. This particular grant is to increase the security posture of systems within our city. So if somebody came and plugged an unauthorized device into our network, it would be found, identified, and I would be alerted immediately. This grant will pay for the equipment and the professional services to have it installed. The plan has been submitted and accepted by the state. It's just pending acceptance, review, and acceptance by you, and it would be a project that would be completed this year.
Any questions? Just thank you for writing. We know cybersecurity is like the never-ending, feels like the never-ending boogeyman out
It is
there.
not a once and done. It is a continual maintenance opportunity and vigilance on our part, so
Great.
happy to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our last one for the day is Michelle Murray. She's going to talk to us about the Northeast Community Center.
Good afternoon, Council President and council members. I'm here just to present about the Northeast Community Center that constructed a youth behavioral facility. On August 1st, 2022, per ordinance 36246, item A, City Council allocated $500,000 to the Northeast Community Center purely for the renovation of the former Northeast Library branch located at 405 North Cook, Washington. The renovations were properly procured for construction of the Youth Behavior Center, and the construction is complete. And we are now seeking approval to officially contract with the organization to fund the $500,000 towards their construction of their facility.
I'm sure they're very happy. Any questions for Michelle on that? We're good to see this get across the finish line. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, there's nothing else to come before this body. We will adjourn. We will see you at briefing at 3:15. Our next PIES meeting will be February 26th at 10 a.m. Please mark your calendars.
3:30 for
3:30 for briefing today. And then next PIES meeting is February 26th, special date at 10 a.m. This meeting is adjourned.